It's that much awaited night, the Thursday night, when Manchester United do get back into action in the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League against Athletic Bilbao in the return leg semi-finals. So allow me to do the honors of having our, audios tested so that we can get down into the thick of that action. We are actually a bit late for that particular broadcast because I got held up with a meeting, but apologies. So we'll get right into the thick of that action really quickly. So allow me to test my audios and we get the conversation started, and we get the conversation started because I think we're good to go as far as our audios are concerned. Just allow me complete this action and we get into the talking points of Manchester United versus Athletic Bilbao and much more. We all know Tottenham are equally in action. Chelsea are in action tonight, and the starting lineups are already out, or the team news is already out. So we won't waste much time. Of course, I'll be waiting for many of you to do join us. Apologies for being late. That's not usually how we do things here on Football Tribe UG, but next time we will hopefully will do much better than we have done today. In regards to Juvis Bisoma, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Dejan Kulusevski, that means that Pape Matsa is left out of the starting 11 in comparison to our probable starting 11 that we did discuss earlier on today. Richarlison, Dominic Solanke, and Brennan Johnson lead the lines. On the bench, Tottenham have Brandon Austin, they have Alfie Whiteman, they have Kevin Danso, they have Dijak Space, Ben Davis, Acha Gray, Pape Matsa, Calm Wilson, Olusesi, Matthias Tels, Wilson Odebat, and Mickey Moore, as well as Ajay. That's for the Tottenham bench. And then on the other side, they for Bodo Glimot, excuse me, Bodo Glimot have Nikita in goal, Nikita Haikin in goal. They do have Frederick Jovold. They do have Justin. They do have Justin Gunderson. They do have Brady Moy. They do have Frederick Jokan. That's for their center, for their defensive lineup. Then in midfield, they have they have Hakon Vejen, they have Patrick Buck, they have Saltness. And then up front, they do have Bloomberg, they have Kasper Hodge, and then Jens Houch. That's for Tottenham's rivals in Bodo Gilmore. Quickly, let's run to Manchester United. Manchester United is starting 11. Is pretty much what we had predicted, or what we had for a probable lineup, especially when you look at how things are. In fact, it has not changed from our probable lineup because they do have Andre Onana in goal, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, as well as Lenny Yoro. The only change is with Luke Shaw. So Mazzori does return, is fit to play. Manuel Agate, Casemiro, and Patrick Togu, as well as Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, and then Rasmus Højlund to lead the lines. Of course, on the bench, they do have Tom Heaton, Altai Buendia, Luke Shaw, Harry Amas, Tyler Fredrickson, Jaydan Camason. They do have Mason Mount, Christian Eriksen, Kobe Mino, Amadou Diallo, and Mantato. That's for Manchester United starting 11, as well as the bench. For the side of Athletic Bilbao, you'll forgive me if I mispronounce some of these names, but they do have Julian Agrezabala, that's in goal. They have Unai Nunes. They do have Uri Alvarez. They do have Andoni Gorosabel. That's as well as Yuri Bachiche. That's for their defensive lineup. They do have Mikel in midfield, Inigo Ruiz, as well as Unai Gomez. They have Alvaro Jallo. They have Alex Belenguer, as well as Mauron Sanadi to lead the lines. On the bench, they do have people like Unai Simon, Aito Parades, Inigo Lekue, Oscar Di Marcos, They do have Adama Boiro. They have Mikel Vesga. They do have Benati Pradosi. They do have Rego. That's Alejandro Rego. They do have Goka Gruzeta. They do have Valera, and as well as yeah, that's for the bench for Manchester United. I can see hello night H night. Should I subscribe? Please consider subscribing and liking the broadcast. H night and welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. H night says say hi H night. Much appreciated. I can see Derek here is I'm a Manchester United fan. Manchester United fans, please give me your prediction for tonight's game. I can see uh, H Knight says Liverpool, we are red, done. I subbed. Thank you so much, Knight. Liverpool, congratulations on winning the Premier League title. Of course, tonight we are discussing your rivals in Manchester United, who are in action against Athletic Bilbao. We discussed their game earlier on in the morning broadcast. I can see Patrick says Man United are winning the game by 2-1. That's his prediction. It doesn't fall far the way much from what I predicted, although my prediction was a 3-2 victory for Manchester United. And the reason as to why I gave that prediction is that I do not think Athletic Bilbao have the luxury of sitting back and waiting to defend when they have already 3-goal deficit. I think they will have to go at it all the way. And H night, you say I think on aggregate, Man United will win 5-3. That winning 5-3 means that Manchester United are losing by 3-2 tonight. That's what you imply. Each night, but either way you say Man United will advance to the finals that will be played at San Mamés on the 21st of May. And given the fact that Manchester United could meet Tottenham Hotspurs in the finals of this year's UEFA Europa League, Tottenham did request to have their fixture versus Aston Villa that was, I think, slated for 18th May. I need to cross-check on that particular date. 18th May, yes, it was supposed to be on Sunday, 18th May. They've requested for that fixture to be moved to the Saturday, 17th. Remember, Manchester United, I think, will have played on a Friday. And then you say, and Tottenham will win today. Yes, Tottenham are up against Bodo Glimt. They did win the first leg by 3-1. So they're really in pole position. They consider that goal Saltness scoring, what turned out to be a mere consolation for the visitors at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the first leg. For those of you that were there last week in that action, of course, goals for Tottenham Hotspurs were scored by Brennan Johnson and James Maddison. Of course, James Maddison is absent through injury, as well as a penalty by Dominic Solanke. I can see, okay, the message. Some of you have deleted your messages. Abdul Aziz, thank you so much for joining the broadcast. You say I hate Arsenal. Why do you hate Arsenal, Abdul Aziz? Please let me know. Please let me know down in the comment section. But even while you hate Arsenal, I humbly request that you do subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to grow. Same applies for Derek, the Manchester United fan there. Let me know, Abdullah Aziz, why you hate Arsenal. And perhaps maybe I could change your mind. Do you hate it because they lost yesterday? Do you hate it because they've disappointed you in numerous occasions in as far as trying to win major titles is concerned? Do you hate it because you support Chelsea, maybe Liverpool, maybe Manchester United, maybe Tottenham? Is it because of that rivalry? Please let me know why you do hate Arsenal. But we are not so far away from kickoff. I think in about 8 minutes or 7 minutes from now, the games will be kicking off there in the UEFA Europa League semi-finals, as well as the UEFA Conference League semi-finals. I have to go. I love your content. Thank you so much, Knight, for being with us. We always do live broadcasts prior to kickoff of games and also in the aftermath of games. So please endeavor to join us. But thank you for subscribing to the channel. Much appreciated. Abdul Aziz, you say you hate them because you're a Real Madrid fan. Oh, okay, that's really understandable. given that Arsenal knocked out Real Madrid in this year's UEFA Champions League. So that's understandable if that's where your hate emanates, and perhaps because maybe Real Madrid have never beaten up against Arsenal in UEFA Champions League history. That's why you hate them. But thank you for it's been really nice having you on the channel. But like I was saying, the other games in the UEFA Conference League semi-finals, Chelsea are up against Jagaden at Stamford Bridge. Remember, Chelsea do have a 4-1 lead on aggregate. A burst from Nicholas Jackson, Noni Madueke, as well as Jordan Sancho ensured that Chelsea have a 3-goal cushion by the end of the first leg. While Fiorentina do travel to Real Betis, and Fiorentina at home against Real Betis. Real Betis have a 2-1 lead in that fixture or in that tie. Much appreciated, Abdul Aziz Al Abdallah. Thank you so much. For the sake of team news, as far as Chelsea go, they do have Philippe Jorgensen in goal. They have Malo Gusto, they have Tosin Aderabio, Benoit Badiashile, and Marco Cucurella. Pretty much the same team that started in the first leg. They have Joshua Achepong, although Joshua Achepong now comes in midfield alongside Richie James. They have Reggie Welsh, Keenan Brisbury Hall, Jordan Sancho, and Tariq George. They are leading as the striker. I see the changes in here is that Noni Madueke hasn't started, and then Marco Cucurella also comes into the starting lineup. On the bench, they do have Robert Sanchez, they have Lucas Bagostom, they have Levi Colwill, Pedro Neto, Enzo Fernandez, Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, Trevor Chalobah, Moises Caicedo, and Genesis Antwi, as well as Shumai Mweka. Yes, that's as far as Chelsea are concerned. On the side of Jagaden, they do have Jacob Rene in goal. They have Jacob Une. They have Miro Teno. They have Victor Bag. They have Keita Kosugi. That's for their defensive lineup. They have Tobias Glinken. They have Tobias Glinsen. They have Daniel Stenson. They have Hampas Findelo. That's for their midfield. Then they have Augustus Presky. They have Santeri Halara. They do have Tamak Chol Ngweni for their front three. That's the lineup for Jagaden up against Chelsea in this return leg fixture. On the side of Fiorentina, let's see. As well as for Fiorentina, they do have David De Gea, Marin Pocic. Anyways, yeah, Anthony gets to start for Real Betis, as well as Isiko Alcoron, Giovanni Lo Celso, formerly at Tottenham Hotspur, is also in there. Pablo Fornos, formerly at West Ham United, are all starting in this one. For Manuel Pellegrini's side. But as far as Manchester United goes, I do think they will win their fixture tonight. I think they just have a squad strong enough to win them tonight's fixture, and then also advance to the finals of this UEFA Europa League, a title that they will be looking to win again, having won it back in 2017, beating Ajax by 2-0 in the final. So that pretty much is there for the taking. But so that game does kick off in just a bit. Of course, an all-English final, if they are to advance to the finals, we'll be seeing an all-English UEFA Europa League final for the first time since 2019, when Arsenal and Chelsea were involved in that final. Of course, Chelsea beating up against Arsenal badly by 4-1 in Baku in Azerbaijan. Then I think for as far as reaching the finals of the UEFA Europa League beyond that 2019 incident, and then Manchester United being in it in 2016, you'll have to look back at 2013 when Chelsea also won it when they were under the charges of Rafael Benitez. Then you look back at I think 2010 when Fulham reached the final. That Fulham that was under the charges of Roy Hodgson. I think it was 2010, 2011, thereabout, most probably, if I'm not mistaken, for the team that beat Atletico Madrid beating up against Fulham by 2-1. I remember, I think Diego Colanzo being one of the goal scorers in that year's final. In that year's final, yes, it was 2009-2010 for that season when Atletico Madrid beat up against Fulham by 2-1 to win the competition. I think Claudio Pizarro were among the top goal scorers for that season, and then it was Diego Forlan's first European title. That was before Diego Simeone came to the fold. That was at Atletico Madrid and that kind of thing. So really, the reason as to why I keep looking here, I'm trying to set my screen in preparation for that game. I know we're soon heading into kickoff. Players are already out there on the pitch. But anyways, guys, enjoy the matches. Can see players are already out. Anthems being sung. They're sending the mascots out of the turf to go and attend to their other business. I'll be looking forward to also catch that fixture between Tottenham Hotspurs and Bodo Glimt. I'll do my best to follow both games concurrently if my permutations do allow me. But yes, Enrique Sanchez Flores was the manager at Atletico Madrid at the time, and as they won that competition, a goal scored, like I said, by Diego Forlan Coranzo, as well as Davis for Fulham. And then I think the other goal for Atletico Madrid, actually both goals were scored by Diego Forlan Coranzo. Anyways, I can see the players here. Of course, they're done shaking hands and that kind of thing. We've seen the match officials. So, guys, allow me to wrap it here and wish you a wonderful, evening as you enjoy those fixtures. Let's link up again at halftime to discuss what will have transpired in the opening half. But thank you, H Knight, for joining us earlier on and for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, Derek, the Manchester United fan there. I failed to pronounce your second name, that's why I didn't bother mentioning it, but I know it's Peter something. And then another shout out to Abdul Aziz, who was equally with us, the Real Madrid fan. But thank you so much, guys, for being with us, for the time you've been with us. Let's link up at halftime and discuss what will have transpired in the opening minutes of the opening stanza for those particular games. Remember, Chelsea in action up against Jagaden, Tottenham against Bodo Glimt, United against Athletic Bilbao, while Fiorentina are up against Real Betis. Enjoy and stay blessed for now. Bye-bye.